first off, are you recording? Are we good to go on that side?
Good to go.
Excellent. All right. Well, good morning, everybody. I appreciate y'all taking a little time to meet with me. I think we've got an hour blocked out. I don't think it's going to take the full hour. I'm certainly not looking to present for a full hour. So if we got some time at the end, which we should, maybe we can do some Q&A, or if we want to get some time back in the day, we can certainly do that as well. But as far as what I'd like to cover today, just give you some context around who XOi is and what our focus is, and a little high level on how we help companies out. And then I'm going to click over and show you how the product works, sort of a day in the life of a field technician, how they would use the Vision platform, and some of the value cases that we've helped drive with some of our customers. So then there at the end, we'll reserve a little time for some Q&A, and we'll go from there. So who is XOi? As a salesman, the quick little elevator speech, one-liner is going to tell you that XOi provides a software that helps you unlock the value of the photos and videos that your techs are taking in the field today. Now, what that's going to allow you to do is increase your operational efficiency so you can do more with the same resources. It's also going to help you sell more so you can have a top-line impact. Now, you might be asking yourself, why is this information so valuable? What are these photos and videos really going to do to help me achieve those goals? Well, if we look at the sort of the current reality that we all live in, the skilled trades gap is a very top of mind, a very real reality that we're living in right now. There's all that knowledge that's retiring with our seasoned techs, our seasoned vets, and the new guys are coming on and they just can't get trained fast enough, and there's no way for them to efficiently transfer that knowledge from generation to the next. You couple that with customers. The current customer is not the one that was there 10 years ago, not even 5 years ago. Their expectations are so much higher now for an exceptional experience, and they're going to vote with their dollars and their loyalty if they do or don't get that experience. And so in the face of these challenges, we got to figure out, well, how do we grow? Nobody's getting into this business so they can tread water. So how do we face these challenges and really grow our business to be that much more successful? So at XOi, we've got a laser focus on providing technology that helps address those issues head on. If you look at our company profile, our founders, our employees, we've all got a blue collar background. We have all worked with our hands. We've all provided service for customers, and so we understand that there are real needs out there. And so if you look at everything that we do, it's to provide some value specifically in the HVAC, refrigeration, MEP trade space. And you'll find that that's different than a lot of software companies. There's a lot of ERPs, there's a lot of FSMs out there that try to be a lot of things to a lot of people. We know that there's a very strong need in this market, and that's what we're focusing on right now. And so you'll see everything that we do in the product is going to solve a real problem that technicians face in the field. And so that is our focus. So the solution, as I mentioned, we're a software company, and we provide a cloud-based solution that you can access on your mobile device, on your computer, and you can use a lot of different types of hardware with. You can see here we've got like some wearables, we got a GoPro, you got a smartphone there. Again, the Vision platform itself is the solution. It's the software, it's that driver that allows you to capture that content in the field, allow you to quickly identify it and catalog it, and then effectively share that with the folks who need it on demand. It's also going to allow you to connect technicians with other folks, so you can do remote mentoring, you can do live troubleshooting, and really take advantage of that telepresence capability. So all that to say is Vision is a software with a mobile app and a web app, and then you can use a number of different hardware options, whether it's the camera on your smartphone or anything that's really sophisticated like smart glasses or a GoPro. So if we look at how our customers use vision and the value that they get out of it, there are a lot of different ways that you can use your camera. There's a lot of different ways that you can use the content that it captures. What we find our customers find the most value in, though, is these three use cases, these three value propositions. So the first one, this is efficiency. And again, if you think about that skilled trades gap and the challenges for, ensuring that you can do the job right, you can do it right the first time for the fewest amount of resources. There's a lot that we're up against there. So what Vision allows you to do is have a knowledge base at your fingertips that a technician can now reference from their mobile app. So this is that training content. This is these photos and videos that are a part of your cloud-based platform and your account that a technician can now say, hey, show me how to reset this switch. Now, typically, they'd go to Google, they'd try to find something on YouTube, and they may or may not find something that's worthwhile. But with this knowledge base, this is your content. This is in your voice, and it's going to help you do the job to your standard. If they don't have the information that they need, or it's a trickier problem that they need an extra set of eyes on, there's also the option to then start a live call with somebody back at the shop. Maybe it's calling into their service manager and saying, hey, I need some extra eyes on this. What's the next best step? So you're not having to roll that second truck. So you're not having to send somebody else out, or you're not having to hit pause and wait a couple of days before another tech can get on site and really finish the job out. So again, driving operational efficiency is one of those main goals and one of the capabilities that we help provide. You flip that coin, and then we're looking at the sales side. So how do I sell more? How do I capitalize on the opportunities that my techs are seeing in the field right now? And that all comes back to transparency and visual evidence. A picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, a video is worth a million. There is a lot of data that we've taken that shows how effective this content is in boosting sales, both from an opportunity origination standpoint, so being able to document each of these upsell or maintenance or replace opportunities that you see when you're in the field, so then showing that to the customer and immediately establishing credibility and transparency and trust, and flipping the script from, hey, this guy's trying to sell me something, to, oh wow, this guy knows what he's talking about. This guy is now a trusted advisor, and he's got my best interests in mind because he's showing me the proof right here. I'll get to how that plays out with the numbers too, but that is definitely one of the bigger drivers as far as where our customers get value from, measurable value. The third piece of this is documentation. So you think about the need for information, whether it's for liability, ensuring that your guys are following safety protocols to the book, whether there's a situation where you got to cover your ass. I mean, we have all been there where something doesn't quite go right down the road and the finger is pointed at you. So imagine having a quick video or documentation that shows, well, it turns out we actually did exactly what we said we were going to do. Let's take the emotion out of that conversation and short circuit it and drive to a proper resolution. So the ability to effectively document that information and have it in a single, centralized, accessible repository has a lot of value for our customers. So what does that translate to as far as results? All these things sound good, but do they actually deliver? So with several of our larger customers, we've pulled data over the past year to show some pretty compelling numbers. So if you look at, there on the left, a 35% increase in the number of service requests completed. So that's over the year prior using the same number of resources. So again, if you look at the operational efficiency that the Vision platform can help drive, this is reducing that need to call a second truck. This is reducing the time it takes sitting on hold talking to the manufacturer of the OEM. This is driving those efficiencies that allow you to do the job right the first time to your quality standard. The next two get to the sales side of things, so increases both in the revenue value of service requests, so being able to capitalize on those upsells, on those replacements, on those maintenance opportunities that you spot in the field, and being able to increase the close ratio. So of those new opportunities that you uncover, you're actually closing more of them, so it starts to snowball. So again, these are numbers from real customers based on a year's worth of data that help us say, with some certainty that for the right customer, this is going to help drive a lot of value for your organization. So how do we do that? I know I've been talking a lot up in the clouds. Let's start to look at the product itself and how we actually execute on some of these value propositions. So it starts in the field. I had mentioned there's a couple different options as far as how to get this content. There's some really cool stuff. There's the GoPro if you got iOS. There's RealWear, which is a helmet-mounted tab. It's like a freaking computer on your head. These are great options. Now, they do cost a little bit, but our platform certainly supports those. And the good news is you don't have to have these. Again, if you look at 85% of our techs in the field, they just rely on their smartphone, their iPhone, their Android, using that high-def camera that they've already got in their pocket. And it runs the mobile app natively, so a lot of the use cases and a lot of the value that we're talking about here is readily accessible. And then if you need some more horsepower as far as having a hands-free point of view, doing some training videos or live mentor, the wearables pose a very nice option to upgrade. But again, it's not required by any means. So how do we get into the Vision platform? Again, there's the web application, there's the mobile app, which your technicians are going to be using out in the field, which we'll walk through first. And then there's the web application that folks back at the shop can take advantage of as well to do some additional things. So we'll start with the web app, we'll start with the mobile app, and then we'll get to the web app. So with most of our customers, we have integrations with their field service management platform. It's certainly a goal of ours to not create more work. The last thing a tech's going to want to do is open up 3 or 4 different tabs and have different systems that they're working in. If it adds friction to the day, it's not going to get used. We know that, we understand that, we live by that credo. So what we do is we integrate with these field service management platforms to allow you to actually launch XOi, the mobile app, from your field ticket. And so from there, it provides for a seamless flow of information back and forth, and I'll show you how that works. But with this, you're launching into the mobile app, and from here, I'll switch screens to show you what that process and what that workflow looks like. So again, we integrate with a number of FSMs, and it allows you to jump directly from that ticket directly into Vision.
If our field service software does not currently work with XOi, is that something you guys can reach out to them and take care of that?
Absolutely. If it's one that we don't have on our roster, it's my job to make it on our roster. So if I could ask, which platform are you on now?
Sage, I don't know what it's called, SSO, yeah.
Got it.
From Sage Service.
Yep. So we've got a couple with Sage. I know we do like IFS Core and Timberline. So
okay, it's IFS Core.
Okay. So we should have a foundational. I'll take this offline. All I have to say is I know we've got a legacy integration point with them, and it should be this month that we're going to start building that out for workflow. But I'll send that information to you here once we wrap up. And sorry, I can't see who was making that comment.
Bobby Grimes.
Bobby Grimes, got it. Thank you, sir. Just making a quick note. All right. So enough of the chit-chat about our company. Let's actually look at the product itself. Let's see here. Slide over to, all right. So we've launched XOi, and now this is what a technician is going to see in their mobile app as they start through a workflow. Now, when I say workflow, this is just a set of steps in a process that you define. So this is tailored to your organization, what you're trying to accomplish. It can be 2 steps, it can be 20 steps, but again, it's all configurable to what you're trying to promote and encourage your techs to do in the field. And so step 1 is, hey, I just came over from the service ticket. It's pulling over the relevant information that I'll need as far as the ticket number, the customer name, the location. And then it's going to show me my gallery of all the recent content that I've taken. So this is allowing me to say, hey, of the stuff that's in my gallery, what's going to be most important for this ticket? And so you can see, you can do a quick preview if you need to. You know, here's a fuzzy picture of a data plate. Here's a picture of the unit opened up. You know, down here we've got some videos. I won't play those for you because the audio is rarely high quality over the web link. But again, you've got the option to do a quick preview and then start to select. Hey, here's the things that I'm interested in keeping for this ticket. So it's as simple as saying, yes, I need these. No, I don't need those, and then move on to the next step. Now, with each of these steps, you not only define sort of what the nature of the step is. You know, for instance, here is data plate, so it's saying, hey, load everything that's a data plate. You can also configure who gets this information or how it's processed. So I'll go into a little bit more about that. For this step in particular, you know, we all know that asset management and identification is super important, but nobody likes taking the time to key in, you know, a 36-character model number. And, you know, errors happen, it's hard to read. It's not that fun of a process, but it is critical. If you're looking to do any kind of asset management, tie it back to life cycle costs and preventive maintenance, you got to get that info. So what we tell the techs to do is, you know what, just snap a picture of it, and then we're going to run optical character recognition that's going to pull that make, model, and serial number from that photo and write it back into the notes, write it back into your field service management software. So again, it's taking a step that's typically required but not very well liked and time consuming to making it as simple as taking a picture. After they take the data plates, then we're going to go to tech tips. So this is those training videos. These are those quick tutorials out in the field that actually show you how to get stuff done. You know, it's not highly stylized and produced, but it's going to turn, you know, what's a 30-minute call on hold with train, figuring out how to reset that switch, to a 30-second tutorial that now anybody in the organization can access online, kind of like the YouTube for the trades. And now they can get that job done just as fast without having to call into train, without having to call into their service manager or spend a half hour on Google trying to figure out which service manual is the right one. If you think about the information that's pulled from these data plates, make, model, and serial number, one thing I didn't mention is that all this content, all these photos and videos are going to be tagged with that information. So now, when you're making that tech tip, that little training video, and it goes to your knowledge base, now somebody can search for that model and say, hey, for this specific unit, show me all the videos that are in my knowledge base. Show me all the pictures that I can reference, whether it's a wiring diagram, it's a schematic, it's an actual photo of a unit. It makes that information that much more powerful because it's now, you can find it on demand and then you can access it when you need it. So that's a big part of that I hadn't touched on earlier, is that ability to tag, whether it's an automatic tag from that OCR, from that optical character recognition, or it's a manual tag. I'll show you what some of our guys do later on as far as, you know, especially for these training videos. One guy, he calls his training videos redneck secrets, you know, and that's how he finds everything that he posts that's going to help train the newbies. And, you know, they have a little fun with it, but again, it makes it easy to find when you need it so you can get the job done. This next step, this is sales. So again, this is one of those big value drivers as far as providing transparency, whether it's as a part of a bid or a quote. You know, you do a site walk, you see an opportunity when you're servicing another unit, you see an opportunity for a fix or an upsell. Providing that photo and video documentation works wonders. So with this step, you can specify as part of your workflow that, you know what, everything that is uploaded to this sales step, it's going to go back to Richard, you know, the sales manager at J&J, or whoever it is in your organization. You can define who those recipients are, so the tech doesn't have to worry about, well, do I email this to so-and-so? Do I text this to Frank or Richard? Who needs to get this and what are their number? They don't have to worry about any of that. Just by virtue of them selecting the content that's going to be needed and hitting next, it's going to be routed to that pre-designated recipient automatically. And that's true for any of these steps in here. So again, you think about, these are just essentially buckets, different categories that this content would fall into, and however it's configured takes care of the rest automatically. This next one, internal recap. Again, this is a step that would help promote some, you know, standard operating procedures for your technicians. When you're done with the job, talk about what you did, show a picture of the unit, provide some context for the next guy who's going to be on site. We all know how hard it is to show up to a site completely blind, try to decipher some notes, and get the context that you really need to get in there and start making your job easy. So shoot a little 30-second video. Talk about, hey, you know what? Ladder accesses on the west side. Once you get up to the top, you know, you're going to have 2 locks that you're going to have to deal with. You know, any of that context that's just going to give somebody a quick leg up that's new to the job. Again, this doesn't have to be customer-facing. Again, that's why it's internal, but again, another nice option for providing that additional content that's going to help your operations flow. Receipts. So I'm sure all of y'all don't have any problems as far as reconciling receipts, work orders, and invoices at the end of the month. But there's other customers that definitely do have some challenges with that. So they've found some value here. So again, instead of, you know, receipts getting lost in pockets, in glove compartments, thrown away, ripped up, torn up, wadded up, just take a picture of the receipt, and just by virtue of uploading it as part of this ticket, again, it's going to have that ticket number, that customer name, the customer location tied to it. You can also say, hey, all these receipts that you upload as part of this step are going to go to our accounts team. So again, they're not having to chase somebody down at the end of the month to say, where's that gum receipt? Again, this is a specific case. You can include a step like this or not. This just points to the configurability and the many different uses that you can apply as part of this workflow. So the last step, this is the doozy. This is the customer-facing step. So with this, you're going to say everything that I want this customer to see. And here we've got a couple of videos. These would show, hey, you know, I'm up on the roof. Here's the work that I did. Thank you so much for your business, Mr. or Mrs. Customer. Add that personal touch. Add that differentiator that's going to let them know that, hey, you know what, we've got your best interests in mind, and we do the best work that you can possibly find out there, and here's evidence of it. Thank you for your business. Coupled with that, this shows another cool thing we can do with that content. So for this video, he didn't type out these notes. What he did was, for this step, we can say, hey, let's run natural language processing on that video to transcribe what is said. So instead of having to type out field notes now, he just has to shoot a quick video, and then it transcribes that voice, that audio portion of it into text. So now that can be written back into your field notes, into your service ticket, and you're off to the races. I know guys especially love that bit of it, not having to write anything out. Just say it, and it'll transcribe it for you. So this last step, this is confirmatory. This is just a summary of everything that you just did for each of these steps. There's data plates, there's tech tips, there's sales, internal recap, all those videos and photos and images that we selected. Yep, everything looks good. You click save, and you're done. It'll either close out in Vision or shoot you back into your FSM to close out the ticket there, but then you're off to your next job. So what we're looking at here, this is what the customer would see as a result of that customer step. You can see it's a summary of that service ticket number, the location, the date, and then that customer content, whether it's the photo, it's the video. They can click on that content, open it up, see that personal message, read the transcription here, and then they've got that information on demand. Now, again, it's not a matter of having to try to attach these two videos to an email or to a text. You know, that's not scalable. It's not efficient. What it's going to do is it's going to send this hyperlink, which points them to this page that we're looking at here, and that's one of the capabilities I'll get to when we jump over to the web app. That's the ability to share this content, but again, we want to make it as efficient as possible, scalable as possible, so folks don't have to worry about it, and it's as automated as it can be. So I'm going to pause for a quick 10 seconds, take a sip of water before we jump over to the web application. All right. So what we're looking at here is the Vision application, but from your desktop. So this is on my laptop. This is what you're going to look at when you're logged in on your PC or your Mac. It can have all the same information that we were just looking at it through a couple different lenses. So with any of these, you can see there's activity stream. This just shows everything that's coming in, sort of keeping your finger on the pulse of the operation. There's the knowledge base, which is a little more structured. This is all the content that's been uploaded, but that you can easily find based on those tags, based on who took it, based on what group they're in, whether it's the electricians, it's the new construction guys, the plumbers, it's up to you, or by date range. So again, you can boil the ocean by using these filters to get to just the content that you need, and then take a look at it. Before we get into that, let's take a look at that service ticket side again too. So this is, again, just a different lens to access that same information. And we can see here, this is that ticket that we were just looking at. It's got all the same information, all the right tags, internal notes, and then all the content associated with the different steps in the workflow. Now, admittedly, this is a demo environment, but all of this information is available essentially on demand. So as I'm uploading, or as those photos are automatically uploaded from the field, if I'm logged into this system here, I'll see those start to populate pretty much instantaneously. So it's not a matter of having to refresh. It's not a matter of a time lag. It's only done every 12 hours. No, it's done as soon as that picture, that photo, that video is uploaded. Anybody in the organization can see it and access it. So that's what is really powerful from that knowledge sharing standpoint, is having that info on demand. What's also powerful is the ability to share this information, whether it's sharing the entire work order with somebody or just a few discrete pieces of info. You know, you can go through and select a couple of videos, a couple of photos, and then it's just a matter of typing in either their email address or their phone number. So I won't pick any of you out specifically, but I'll show you exactly what happens. If we were to text you or email you, it's not, again, it's not going to attach, you know, a couple of videos and a couple of photos, which may or may not go through based on size. It's going to send you a hyperlink, which you click on and you open up to view that specific content. So if we paste that, this is what that's going to look like. You can see here's that gallery, there's that fuzzy picture, there's that one, and then there's that video. So again, the ability to quickly and efficiently share this content with whoever needs it is a real value driver. As I mentioned before, with the integration with your FSM, that's what's going to be written back as far as the content that you want to share with your customers. It's not going to be actually pasting those photos into your order. It's going to be inserting that hyperlink which points your customers to that content, as big or as small as it is. So while we're on this page, there's also the ability to upload your own content. So if you got a Google Drive, you got 1,000 pictures on your phone, you've got some PDFs of service bulletins or wiring diagrams or schematics, you can upload all of these things and immediately start building out that knowledge base that your guys can reference, again, anywhere on demand. So let's see, so we talked about service tickets. We talked about the knowledge base, being able to do some stuff in bulk. You also have the ability to download as PDF. I know a lot of our customers have specific deliverables that are, tied to PMs that, it says, hey, you have to send PDFs of all these pictures as part of your final job. So again, making it easy to do so from the web app is another nice to have. So the last bit that I'll touch on is the live calls. So if we look back to XOi's history, that's actually one of the first things that we did. We originally required you to have a wearable, so like smart glasses, and a big selling point for us was the ability to do live calls. So the good news is, one, you don't have to have wearables to do that now. You can just use your phone. Two, it's still very much a valuable capability that we provide. So what you see over here is a list of everybody that's in your account that's online and available for a call. Now, the technician in the field from the mobile app is going to see the exact same list. And what they're going to do is say, hey, I need to talk to Wayne. He's going to click the call button. Wayne's going to get a little window pop up that says, hey, I'm going to call from Matt, accept it. I'm going to turn my phone on, and Wayne's going to be able to see what my camera's pointing at, whether that's, again, my smartphone or my GoPro or whatever camera I'm using at the time is tied to my app. So if Wayne doesn't know quite what to do, he can call in Don, and we can get Ben, and we can get Woody on it too. You can start to tie in multiple folks to get multiple sets of eyes on that problem, ideally to get that resolved as quickly and efficiently as possible. So that rounds out the capability set as far as what the techs can do in the field, what the folks back in the office can do, and how we provide value for both internal and external stakeholders. All right, that was a lot of talking. And we're doing all right on time. It's only 37 after, so with that, I'm going to take another sip of water, let that sink in for a minute, and then, I'm fine to spend the rest of the time if we're doing any Q&A. Let me get to my right screen here. All right, we'll jump back here. Any questions coming up? Anything that's top of mind? Anything you want to throw out there, learn a little bit more about? And if you want to just send them in afterwards, that's fine too.
Yes, how do you work the pricing on it? Is it per technician, per?
Yeah, so it's a subscription model. So you pay for a license per month. So if you got 20 technicians, a couple of folks on the sales team, maybe a couple service managers, each of those folks that's going to need access to the Vision platform would need a license, and then that's charged per month. And depending on your size, the baseline cost is $59 a month per user, but there's options to go down from there based on the term that you're committed to, so the length of your contract, and then if you get north of 75 licenses, then there's also some economies at that scale.
And all this information, all these pictures and videos and stuff, where's all that stuff stored? Is it on the cloud, or is it on our server here?
So it's all cloud-based. So you've got it's a secure site on Amazon Web Services that is just for your organization. No, you do own all of the data as a part of the subscription. And if you're a customer at some point, you decide it's no longer a good fit, you can download all that data and keep it for yourself, because again, it is yours.
Okay. I got a question for you real quick. It's Brian with A&G. When you're making a training video at a particular location, I guess you're saving that video under a model number, is that correct?
Yes, sir. So the make, model, and serial number you can tag that video with that information. So again, then it'd be searchable by those tags by whoever else needs to find it.
So when I go out to a new site and I know I have information from another site and I go to search for it and I got a 37-digit model number, how many digits do I got to put in that model number before things start popping up? Or do I have to have all 37?
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and you know what? I don't know the answer to that one. But yeah, the autocomplete is definitely something that you'd need to prevent having to manually type in 37 digits. Let me get an answer for you on that one. I'm not sure what the minimum is.
Usually when you're dealing with a piece of equipment, your first 5, 6 numbers is really all you need, and unless you're really getting deep into a problem or something, but they're all pretty well the same as far as what we would need as a training video. I was just curious how you stored them and how somebody who's used this is what they've done to alleviate that or to make it easier to be searched.
Yeah. No, valid question. I know there's a minimum that you need to start keying in, so you can start finding that quickly without having to do the whole thing, but I'm not quite sure what that minimum is, but I can certainly find out. All right. So I will mention just a little bit about how we typically work with new customers, just so I can set some expectations there. So if this looks like it's something of interest, we would continue the conversation. We'd want to take a look at your operation, understand, what are those challenges that you're facing? What are those operational goals that you're trying to hit? And make sure that there's some nice alignment as far as what you're looking to do and what we can provide value for. At that point, if there's nice alignment and you want to proceed, then we typically do a 30-day trial. Now, this is a period during which you've got unlimited access to the system, but we're going to work with you to really narrow the scope as far as the activities that are going to happen that we're going to measure success by. So we'll pick a handful of technicians. We'll identify the plays to run that are very well thought out, that are very well scripted, that are in line with what your business goals are. So if it's sharing content with the customer, if it's doing some live telepresence calls, if it's creating training content, we've got a number of those plays already written out that says, okay, here's the activities that each tech is going to do either daily or weekly. Here are the results that we're expecting. Here's how we're going to measure those results, and here's the criteria by which we're going to measure success. The ideal outcome is at the end of that 30 days, we're going to have enough data to make a cold, hard decision, whether it's a good fit, yes, it does what it says we're going to do to the degree we expect, or you know what, it's not a good fit, it didn't hit the mark, but it's an unemotional decision that we've got some data to base it on. It's well informed. So that's the whole point of the 30-day trial. at that point, if it is a go, then it would click over into the full subscription agreement and contract, which again starts billing you monthly based on the number of licenses that you need. So cost-wise, there is typically a cost associated with the 30-day trial. You know, there's time and resource that is required. JP, our implementations manager, he's talking to your techs pretty much every day, sending them tips, sending them tricks, saying, hey guys, remember we're going to take this kind of content today, you know, go get them, have a heck of a day. So there is a lot of engagement, a lot of support from our side, which again is probably a lot different than what you typically experience with software companies, but understanding that level of support sets everybody up for success is an investment that we're willing to make. So depending on the size of the organization, that 30-day trial is either $1,500 or $3,000. But as far as what we're looking at for the unified group in particular, you know, my understanding is that, you know, your organizations like to hold yourselves to a higher standard, that, you know, you've got skilled technicians, you do great work, and you stand behind it. So what we'd like to do is offer up, you know, for the unified members, the opportunity to do a free trial. So I talked to my owner, we're throwing around ideas. So with that, you know, we've got an offer for this month. You know, if there is interest, we'll certainly continue the conversations offline, but you would have the opportunity to take advantage of a free 30-day trial. So again, to minimize that risk, if this looks like something that you're interested in doing, we'd map it out. And then again, you wouldn't have to start it by the end of the month. I think just as long as we'd come to an agreement as far as when the kickoff would be and the timing and the resources and so forth. We're hoping that this helps drive some interest and again sort of knocks down those barriers that you might foresee as far as, you know, would this be a good fit and would we get some value from it?
Cool.
All right. Are there any other questions that I can help answer? I'd certainly be happy to give everybody back 15 minutes in their day too, but I'm here to help if there are questions that are still lingering out there. All right.
I think we're good over here.
That sounds good. And you know what? If questions come up down the line, you know, I'll make sure Jan gets my contact info out to everybody. So again, if there's interest in learning more about the trial, more about the product, any and everything, I'm your go-to guy, and I'd be happy to jump on that next conversation with you. So yeah, with that, I'll wrap it up, turn it over to Jan. Jan, thank you so much for this opportunity. You know, hopefully there's some interest and everybody got at least a little something out of today's time. And, you know, we'll see where the conversations go from there.
Thank you, Matt. I did record this, so I am going to send the recording link out. I have to download it, so it might take me a day because it
Sure.
takes a while. So I'm going to download the recording and send that out to everybody with Matt's contact info. I also had a couple people who couldn't be on the call that wanted to watch it. So hopefully that will create some more contacts or more interest as well.
Yeah.
And again, if you guys have any questions, I'll send Matt's contact info on the email with the link to the recorded webinar. And thanks for all being here today and listening and learning about XOi. And thanks, Matt, for presenting to the group.
It was my pleasure. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.